Watching my homies, DJ80 here, and today I'm going to be doing a review of the Gorilla DBS Lite DJ booth. I've also got my trusty Equinox Micron booth here as well, so I'll be able to do a few comparisons. So the booth arrived today along with some other bits and pieces. I've brought it because I want to use it at home with a new controller that I've brought that won't fit on the Micron booth, and if it's any good or if I think it's suitable, I might actually take it out and gig with it as well. But there you'll see it's in its box, and next to it is the bag with the Micron booth in, and that's the bag that I carry and take out with me to gigs at the moment. So already it's a bit smaller, but I can tell you it feels just as heavy, if not heavier. So let's open the box and see what we've got. So here they are on the floor, and that black bag was straight out the box. And having done a quick Google, I can tell you that the Equinox bag there with the overhead bar in it is 14 kilograms, and our little Gorilla booth there is 16 kilograms, so it's a couple of kilograms heavier. I've just taken it out of the bag, and one thing's worth noting is it is a snug fit inside that bag. I'm hoping the bag's really durable because I can't see it taking too many in and outs of the booth going in it. It might shred, but it was definitely a tight fit. And something else I noticed is on the end it's got adjustable feet. Now for those of you that have been doing your research, you'll know that this particular booth looks very similar to a couple of other brands who do the same type of booth. And I noticed with the other brands that one of them, I think it was Equinox actually, it said it had adjustable feet. And the shop I bought this from, which was Why Buy New, they didn't actually mention it in the description, but when I looked closely at the pictures, it did seem that they had adjustable feet. And yeah, there we go, we've got our little screws, which is handy. The Micron booth that I use doesn't have those, and there has been plenty of times when I've been out gigging where I've had to pick up a couple of pub mats, beer mats, and slip them under the corners. But worth mentioning. So nothing too fancy then. In the bag we get the shelf, we get the booth frame itself, we get two bags which I believe are one white lycra and one black lycra for the panels. So I've just put the lycra cloths on, and there's a few things that are definitely worth noting. One, forget any other video that you've watched about putting the lycra cloths on quickly. Because if you want to put them on so that they're flawless and you don't see any creases or any bits on the inside here, you're going to need to take your time. And I've just probably taken between 15 and 20 minutes to get those 4 lycra cloths on. Now apparently you can travel with this with the lycras on, so you only need to put them on once, which is a good thing in my opinion, because you wouldn't want to add 20 minutes to your setup time putting these lycras on. They really are a snug fit. It's all Velcro. It's Velcro all the way round except where the hinges are. So you can see here they couldn't put Velcro on there, and that's the same. That's the same on all of them. So I think they're not going to come off, but if you do want a perfect look, you're going to have to take your time putting them on. And there's a couple of other things that I've spotted whilst I've been doing this as well. So the quality unfortunately doesn't look fantastic. I'm not sure if you can see. This is a brand new unit, absolutely unopened, brand new. I got it from Why Buy New, but as a new item. And I know from the packaging it hasn't been opened, but it has a few imperfections on it. Like, you can see a little mark there. It's not a big deal. Will it mean I can't use it as a DJ booth? No, it won't. But when you're buying something brand new, I think I paid 170 for this one. The quality, you'd expect a little bit better, like for here as well. I mean, these joints, let me see if I can show you there. These joints look like they were put together in a hurry, by a 5-year-old who was in a rush to watch his favourite TV programme. It's pretty poor workmanship. So I don't think I've got an odd unit either here. And just one other thing worth noting is, so this hinge at the front here, you're going to have to be careful when you open this up, because you've got two hinges at the front, top and bottom, and so they're the only things that are stopping you when you're opening this from over flexing. So when you open it, you're going to have to be really careful you don't over flex it, because if those, I've got a feeling based on the rest of the workmanship, those hinges, if they get overworked, they're eventually going to, at the very worst, come loose, or you know, or break, just snap. So when you open it, just make sure it is just a parallel line there, and you don't invert it too far. So yeah, it has taken me a good 20 minutes, I think, just to get those Velcros on. So I'm going to put the shelf on now, and then I'm going to put up my Equinox booth, and we'll have them side by side. Right, here they are side by side then. So I've got the Equinox Micro on the left and the Gorilla DBS Lite booth on the right hand side. So this is what they will look like to your clients. The differences are, obviously, this one sits higher up. I haven't bothered putting the overhead booth on that because there's no point. This doesn't come with one, so it's not really a fair fight if I do that. And then from this side, that's what it looks like on the inside of the Micron booth. And this is what it looks like there. I've done a quick measure up. So the floor to the top part of the shelf on the Micron is 92, and the floor to the top part of the shelf on the Gorilla is 93 centimeters, so nothing in it really. But the big difference is obviously your width across. And so the width across on this one is 1 meter, and the width across on this one was 64 centimeters, or 65. And actually I've just thought of something else I should measure. Your depth there is 60 centimeters, and then your depth here, okay, is 50, or thereabouts, 50 centimeters. Okay, so you lose 10 centimeters of depth as well. Oh, just quickly, I've put the shelf on, and we've got 2 holes here to run your cables down, which is nice. Also, I gave it a little bit of a push, see how sturdy it was, and its weight puts it in good stead here, because that's from my side. But if you're dealing with your drunk punters on the other side, actually it's really quite sturdy, and in fact I know that that's more sturdier than in my Equinox booth. So it doesn't matter what equipment you've got on there, it really literally takes some sort of running into it or falling into it from a distance before that goes over. So that's a plus point for the booth. So for posterity, I thought I'd try and see how hard it was to get that booth back in the bag. And I started at 7:58 and time now is 8:03. To be fair, I did get the booth in, zip it up, and then realised I forgot to put the shelf in, so I had to put the shelf in. So this is the booth back in there, and it's still got the Lycra on, and the shelf is exactly in the same place it was when I first undid it, and I know that because I actually hit my fingers on this bit sticking out, which are the lips of the shelf that go over the edges. So I've got the bag done up to here, and as you can see, my zip has got to here, and there's a lot of tension there. So I think what I can probably do is squeeze that together and do the zip up. And I've got the same issue here because this is another hinge sticking out. It doesn't just... You see. So I think regardless, unless this bag itself is made of something special, I think either the bag's going to end up tearing or the zip will just rip. Let's conclude then with the Gorilla DBS Lite booth. So I'll start with the negative points. Right, first and foremost, its biggest negative is it's heavy, but it's also positive in a way. But this is a heavy unit despite its size, so bear that in mind before buying. Second negative point is the finish could be better. You'll notice it especially on some of these corners where it's all tucked in. I would say though that on a pound to pound basis, I think also based on its current price point, you could probably get better value by buying a different DJ booth to this one. And just lastly, I'm pretty sure that the bag that I've got with it, if I'm not really careful with that, that's just going to split. It's not going to last very long at all. So then let's look at the positives. Right, so once you open it at home and apply the Velcro to it at home, and then you won't need to take it off, or at least that's what we're sold as. Once you've done that, this will make it probably the quickest DJ booth in the world to set up. You literally take it out of the bag, unfold it and stick the shelf on. I think it looks really nice. It's one of the reasons why I bought it, because of the way it looks. I just take him with that little look, that little white bottom and that little mesh top bit. It's nice and tidy. Don't forget, it also comes with black lycra as well for the panels. That's free, that's also included. It has adjustable feet, which is quite handy for a DJ booth, especially if you're a mobile DJ and you never know what's going to happen at your next venue, what the floor is going to be like. And as I mentioned earlier, its weight is a negative, but it's also a positive because it makes the booth sturdy. Now, I only bought this because I bought this new controller and it wouldn't fit on my Equinox booth, and it just fits sort of quite nicely, as you can see, on this one. And so you know, depending what equipment you need, it's worth just taking in the specs of the shelf and the size of the unit, depending on what you're going to be using on it. So to summarise, I would say, just remember, I'm not getting paid by anyone to do this review, so I only bought it because I needed it, but also because I really like the look of it. And I think it's one of those things, if you really like the look of it and it appeals to you, there are a few other brands. It seems to be the same unit, but just under different brands. So that might appeal. And I would say, if you're not in a rush to get one, or you're on a tighter budget, look for a B stock one or a used one, and I reckon perhaps wait until prices are around the £130 mark. I think that's probably a reasonable price for this particular unit. I used to have a few years ago the old wooden one that folded up and the side parts opened up into shelves, and I think they retail now for about £90 brand new. So I would say this is a full metal one. Probably the best price for it is around £120, £130, but it's up to you. So I'm going to be keeping this because I need it, but I hope you found the review really helpful, and yeah, I've been DJ80 and I'll see you next time.